Friday morning, good morning, Dominic Steele, Daily Bible Time, and we start our Village Church Weekend Away, Refresh 21 tonight, and we're so excited for that. Pete Tong speaking, plus we hear from our church council, our missionaries singing outdoors. Now, Daily Bible Time, Mark 15, verse 53, they led Jesus away to the high priest, and all the chief priests and elders and the scribes assembled. So, they take Jesus back from Gethsemane, back to the residence of Caiaphas. The Sanhedrin's assembled as a body in the upstairs room. And look, this is out of step with normal practice. It's looking like they're perhaps looking for a more private venue, and it's had to be convened at night time out of regular hours. They're doing it urgently because they're on a timeline for it to be done before the Passover. And it is normal, apparently, to try persons immediately after the arrest in Judaism at that time, as Jewish law makes no provision for detention on remand. So the chief priests and the elders, now they make up the old ruling class in Jerusalem. They had Sadducean leanings. The Sadduceans had the balance of power in the Sanhedrin, and the next group made up of lawyers from the middle class were the Pharisees. Now, here, verse 54, at first glance it appears to be a disruption. Peter followed him at a distance, right into the high priest's courtyard. He was sitting with the servants, warming himself by the fire. Now, what's actually happening is you've got Mark presenting two incidents. On the one hand, the council session, and on the other hand, Peter's denial. And he's running these two stories simultaneously. He doesn't present them one after the other. Lane notes he's recording the hearing before the Sanhedrin with the account of the threefold denial of Peter interwoven and a technique of anticipation and flashback. Now, Peter, he comes into the courtyard, he finds he's really wanting to know what those assembled upstairs are intending to do with Jesus, and he comes across the servants gathered around a fire because of the cold. Now, ordinarily, these men would have been sent home by this time, but the night sitting of the court means they need to stay the night at the house of Caiaphas as well. Now, court proceedings. They start with the taking of evidence, and in capital cases, condemnation requires the unanimous evidence of at least two witnesses. Let me give that to you from Deuteronomy 17:6. Then you must investigate it thoroughly. If it's true, and if it's been proved that this detestable thing has been done in Israel, take the man or woman who's done this evil deed to your city gate and stone that person to death. On the testimony of 2 or 3 witnesses, a person is to be put to death, but no one is to be put to death on the testimony of only one witness. So, the Sanhedrin are looking for at least 2 witnesses, and the witnesses would function verbally in the prosecution, but if they disagree or contradict each other, then their evidence would be inadmissible. Now, there were lots of witnesses, and actually that there were so many witnesses prepared to come forward and give their verbal witness, this indicates that was planning around this. Preparation has been done for this trial. Let me read to you from 55. The chief priests and the whole Sanhedrin were looking for testimony against Jesus to put him to death, but they could not find any, for many were giving false testimony against him, and the testimonies did not agree. So a number of witnesses called and heard, but all that is recorded of their evidence is that they didn't agree with each other, and that invalidated their testimony. So it would indicate, or verse 56 would indicate, that the Sanhedrin at this point did adhere to the legal standards for the hearing of witnesses. So we ask, was this a fair hearing? Answer, no. The court did not gather with the goal of reaching a just verdict. The court gathered with a firm resolve to convict Jesus of a capital crime, really whatever the evidence. So verse 55, the chief priests and the whole Sanhedrin were looking for testimony against Jesus to put him to death, but they could not find any. Now, there's obviously much more to say about that, and so we will continue this examination of the trial of Jesus on Monday morning on Daily Bible Time. Hope you can join us then. God bless.